A scientist's world is turned upside down in a marvelous new book that's made it to the United States. It's a book called The Rosie Project, and it is an aspect of life that is described in such a way with such characters that it is one of the most uniquely books I have ever looked at. Wow. And Graeme Simsion, the author, is here today from Australia. I want to say that when I pick this up and I read the reviews of you and I scan the pages of this book, everything I read so far makes me laugh and expands my thinking on how life for a scientist or someone like you, an IT guy, how you think, how you unravel, how literal you are. Read me something about your character that kind of describes him to the audience.
Oh, okay. Well, in his own words then.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. I am 39 years old, tall, fit and intelligent, with a relatively high status and above average income as an associate professor of genetics. Logically, I should be attractive to a wide variety of women. In the animal kingdom, I would succeed in reproducing. However, there is something about me that women find unappealing. So that's our man.
And this is about a romance.
It's about a romance,
and
yeah.
It's about a friend to him who he thinks he can never have any love. He has Aspergers, doesn't he?
Well, we never say it in the book, but the Aspergers community certainly relate to this character. And I sat down to lunch at one stage with Professor Tony Atwood, a guru on Asperger's syndrome, and he said to me, Graeme, whatever you say, Don Tillman has Asperger's.
And is it that, define it for me, the absolute literal interpretation of everything?
Well, look, I never set out to define it. I didn't read any textbooks about Asperger's syndrome. I just drew on people that I had worked with and hung out with when I studied physics at university, when I worked for 30 years in information technology. So just how they think it. I mean, it's shades of grey. It's not as though everything's literal or anything like that, but there's a social awkwardness there.
Now, you said shades of grey. Now, that's that book. This book is not like that.
Well, no. There is no sex in this book.
No, and I like that. It's a nice, refreshing thing.
He's a very sweet guy.
He's a sweet guy. I love the fact that when he goes and he starts trying to find the right woman, the right person, his questionnaire for her is 16 pages long. Double-sided.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you know what? With the way that we're going with internet dating at the moment, increasingly you've got to answer a lot of questions about yourself because there's millions of people out there. How do you narrow it down to someone who might be compatible?
Yes, but you can put anything on that questionnaire.
You can, and Don's worried about people who arrive late, people who smoke, obviously, people who discriminate amongst ice cream flavours because he had a bad experience once on a date. He's going to eliminate every woman who's ever given him grief on a date.
Have people said to you that, and maybe I'm the only one that's saying it, but the impact of the book, the character, reminds me in some way of the impact that Catcher in the Rye had on young people. And this book, to me, the character of Don Tillman versus Holden Caulfield is so honest and so different. This is nobody has come up with a plot like this book.
Well, I've got to say, being on US television and being compared with J.D. Salinger, I'm happy to just stop there if you like.
Yeah, but I mean, the impact is that good.
Well,
look, the reviews of you all over the country. He's in 40 countries, and they're all singing the praises of this book. That it is a sweet, wonderful book that goes into the mind and the soul and the heart of people who we might call different.
Well, absolutely. And look, good stories come out of character. And in this case, I think it's a character and it's also a voice. He's got a distinctive voice. And that's what people comment on. And the humour, I like to think it's more than humour in it. I mean, my comedy mentor says, make him laugh, make him cry, make him think.
It's not comedy to me.
Yeah.
Because there's such a close flip side to comedy and drama. So each side tugs on your heartstrings.
Well, I'd like to think so. I mean, look, many people read this and they say it's a light laugh. And then I've got a friend who's a psychotherapist who says, man, there's some really serious stuff going on in here.
That's the key to this book. Have you been treated well in the United States?
I've been treated very, very well indeed. I've done 10 cities in 10 days, 3 of those in Texas, and on every occasion we've had good crowds. We've had a lot of enthusiasm for the book, so it's been a delight.
And may we purchase your book at Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com?
I would encourage it. I'm going to be going around Dallas the rest of today to all the Barnes & Nobles we can get to, signing books. So
you
there'll
will be at the Barnes & Nobles.
Autographed copies at all the Barnes & Nobles we can get to between now and when I get on the plane.
Listen, knowing you and the speed that you wrote this book and the character that you did, you'll be able to make all those Barnes & Noble stores.
In multiple colours. You like that?
You can get a copy of The Rosie Project wherever you buy your favorite reads. Thank you so much, Graeme. When we come back, we will return and find out why men are using cosmetic surgery to smooth out their road to success in personal and professional ways. Dr. Edelglass will be with us. Stay tuned.